Good evening. Thank you for joining our Halachas of Loshon Hara group. We are proceeding through Sefer Chavetz Chaim. We're getting close to not quite at the end, we're getting there. We're up to Klal Ches Sif Yud. So until this point, the Chavetz Chaim discussed who is forbidden to speak Loshon Hara, who is it forbidden to speak Loshon Hara about, and now he's going to discuss who is it forbidden to speak Loshon Hara to. So he says there's no chilek, there's no split between the speaking of Loshon Hara about, let's say, Reuven. Let's say somebody wants to speak Loshon Hara about Reuven. So it doesn't make a difference if he's speaking about Reuven to strangers or he's speaking to Reuven's relatives or friends. It makes no difference. It's still usher to speak Loshon Hara about him. It's forbidden to speak Loshon Hara to one's own wife. Doesn't matter if it's his own wife. Not allowed to speak Loshon Hara to her either, unless it's something that she needs to know to avoid problems. Just like if he hears something bad about somebody, he's allowed to be choshesh. He's allowed to be concerned that perhaps it's true and then protect himself. So he's allowed to tell his wife as well, in order that she should protect herself and her interests, her family's interests, his interests as well, for the same reason. Similarly, it would be the same thing if if he heard something about a person and he has to tell his partner to avoid doing business with this person because what he heard, whatever, etc., things like that, to help people avoid damage in any way, that would be permitted. However, he has to make sure that unless it fits into the criteria that allows a person to believe it as true, he has to only be choshesh, and he has to only be concerned for it, not believe it as 100% true, because then it would be Isser Kabbalas Lashon Hara. And also, when he says it over, unless it is 100% clear that and mutter to tell it over as truth, he has to, as we discussed in previous recordings and previous ifim, the Chavetz Chaim discussed the various criteria. A person has to be careful to say, I heard a rumor about somebody that he's dishonest or something like that, and therefore you should be careful. Not that I know it's true, but in other words, you should make sure that it's clear that he's not saying it in a way that he's 100% clear, and that the thing he's relating is 100% true, and just the way he's just relating in order that the people who he's telling should protect themselves. Otherwise, if not for this reason, it would be anybody, relative, not relative, his own wife, doesn't matter. It's all in the category of Loshon Hara and forbidden. And he also says, even brothers, in the next sif, Chavetz Chaim writes, even brothers, one brother to say Loshon Hara about the other brother to one's own father would be usher as well, because the one brother should rebuke the other brother without getting the father involved, even though it's obviously his father. He's likely close to him, and the father could probably rebuke him and set him straight. Let's say he's doing something wrong or did something, dishonest in business or whatever it was. So even though the father could likely rebuke him, but the son, the brother of the alleged perpetrator, even if the guy knows it's true, even if brother one knows brother two did something, wrong, he should rebuke him privately and not get the father involved. If that doesn't work, or if he knows it's not going to work, then he would be allowed to tell the father in order for the father to set the person straight. But otherwise, it would be forbidden to tell the father as well, or any other relative as well, Loshon Hara about the brother or any other relative. Okay, thank you for joining. We'll hold it here. Have a great evening.